All right, well, we're all the way in Unit 3, if you can believe that. We're not all the way through our class yet, but we're almost halfway, which that's crazy, halfway through the block. So today we're going to be going over 3 point, oh, I got stars today, or suns, 3.01 and 3.02. We're going to be talking about Central America, and we just finished up with North America here. So this is kind of a breakdown of what has been assigned already and what you should have done by now, and what's coming up. Okay, so week one, which was August 20th, you had Unit 1, Lesson 1 and 2, and you should have had live Lesson 1 quiz done. And that's where some of you guys are behind, is you haven't done the quizzes yet. Week two, you should have gone over Unit 1, Lesson 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you have a live lesson quiz 2. And then this writing assignment on human impact. Remember, I told you I'd give you a week because we were just kind of filling things out, how to do research, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start grading that as of today. Okay, so I'm going to start putting in those scores. So if you haven't done that, I'll kind of go over and show you that as well, what I'm expecting. Remember, you can either do a Word document or the Google folder that I sent you. You can use that and put that in to do your assignment. Okay. Week 3, which was last week, we went over um, Unit 2, Lesson 1 through 4, and you should have already completed Lesson 4 quiz and Lesson 5 quiz. Okay, so make sure you're getting in there and doing that. Upcoming this week, which is the week of September 10th, we have Unit 2, 5, and 6, and Unit 3, Lesson 1 and 2, which I'm going over today in class. Okay, you'll have the quiz of Lesson 7 quiz, and then you'll have your create a slideshow on immigration. Um, you, it has it so it's due today, but you basically have until I don't put the scores in until Monday morning. So if you need a little bit more time to work on that, get work on that and get going that way. Okay, a couple things about the projects and assignments. We've used onlinelibrary.un.org. I have the new password, which is learning. Okay, so that's going to be your password. Or another one that's really good to use is called Google Scholar. And I'm going to show you those real quick. Okay, somebody said, do we have this class on Wednesday? Yep, live classes on Wednesday with a recorded one on Friday. Thank you, Anthony, for clarifying there. Okay. Yeah, so the Friday one, I just post to the announcement page and I put it on my website there. Okay. Very good questions, though. So you can go back and watch those and you'll be able to get all that content in. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and go over a couple things with you. Okay. All right. So if you can see my screen right now, will you give me a green check mark? Oh, I can't even see now. Green check mark if you can see my screen. Okay, at least 10 of you can. All right, very good. Okay, so this is the new one. I think that's a good one to use. This Scholar, Google Scholar. You can just type it in, and you can just type in like immigration in Mexico. Okay. Oops. And of course, I spelled Mexico wrong. So this will give you some really good information, scholarly work that you can use for your references. Um, Another way, so that's Google, which is if you want to use Google Scholar, that's a good one to use. And then you have, let me just go back here so you can see the site. The Utah Online Library, remember student login, online, and then learning is the password. And really where you want to go is like the EBSCO. EBSCO is a really good one to use because you have all these places. And then Academic Search Premier, okay? And this will pop up. So if you're doing like the immigration in Mexico, and you search that. Oh, of course I gotta spell it right. There we go. So you have 574 articles. And so you can look at refugees, all of these different things that pop up here, okay? So that's going to be some where you can do the research on these. Now on the online library as well, today we're going to do the culturegrams again when we do the breakout rooms. So you log into that there, go to culturegrams, and then we're going to be studying more about, as I said, I like the kids edition. It's just easier for me to read. We're going to click on North America and we're going to be going over, I believe, Honduras, Belize, and El Salvador. So if you do Belize, and then we're going to talk, you're going to research a little bit the land, population, language, and religion. Okay. So then you'll just go click on the side here when we go to the breakout rooms. Okay. So we have that there. If you're using the Google Drive link that I sent you to do your assignments in, remember this one would be personalized to you. It would say your last name, first initial, geography projects. So you can just go into like the writing assignment. It'll just pop up right here. You should have access to edit it. I know I had some that weren't editable, but you can write your name and then start writing your about your natural resource. And then the slideshow that will be due is right here. So you can just use these as templates. And as I said, I'm going to do mine on Mexico. I kind of have my 5 slides here. It has instructions of where to go. Remember, the password is changed, not to reader, but to learning. And then you can just share this link with me. Okay. So let me stop sharing real quick so I can actually see your guys' messages. Any questions on the projects or assignments that are coming up here? Okay. All right. So private messages, I'll get to you guys in a second. If you have one for the thing, I'll throw that out there. All right. So Central America is basically right here. So it goes from the bottom of Mexico all the way till like basically the Panama Canal. Down here, it includes Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, and the Caribbean islands. Okay. So we're going to do a little breakout activity now. I'm going to break you guys out into 3 different rooms. And you guys, I'm going to go around and circle which one you're going to do, either Belize, Panama, or Honduras. You're going to go to the online library and .un.org, go to culturegrams right here, and then you're going to research the topics, and then you're going to put those in there. Okay? All right, so I'll be putting you in the breakout rooms, and then I will give you your assignment in just a second. Okay, group number 1, which is you guys right here. You guys are going to be doing yours on Belize. So I gave you guys rights to write on the board, and so you can start doing that. Okay, group number two, you're going to be doing Panama. So you guys have rights to write on the board, and you'll be doing Panama. Okay, group three here, you're going to be doing Honduras. Okay, so go to the onlinelibrary.uen.org, username online learning, go to the culturegram, and look up those four aspects on Honduras. Okay, so I'm going to go switch between things now. You have options to be able to write on the board now. Good job, guys. Keep up the work in here. Job group number two. Keep up the good work. Job group three. Keep working on it. Get that land and climate in there as well. All right, welcome back, everybody. Give me a smiley face this time if you can hear me. Very good. Okay. All right, we're all on the same page at least. Okay, so you have the rights now to move from each um, room. Okay, and so let's go up. So it's kind of right by your name where it says main room. You're just going to click that down and go into room one, and then we're going to talk about there. So everybody move to room one for me. Move with me to room one. Okay, we're still waiting for everybody to kind of get to room one here, so we're slowly coming in. Okay, all right, so let's talk a little bit about Belize. Okay, Belize is actually one of my favorite places to visit. It's below sea level, and actually, when I went there last time, uh, they actually raise their uh, where they bury their dead. It's actually raised off the ground, so when it floods, they don't have bodies going down the side of the road. Kind of same in Louisiana. Kind of interesting. Okay, so a couple things you guys researched about Belize. One, it's 8,867 square miles. Good. It's subtropical, so which means it's kind of like rainforest. When I went to Belize, I went on a dune buggy through the jungle. Um, went oh, what is it called? The where you're going from tree to tree, a zip line. That's what it is, and cave tubing. So it's actually pretty fun. Um, it's a really fun place. They have ancient ruins there and stuff. Uh, Population is 366,000 people, so about 367,000. So it's pretty, there's not a lot of people that live there. This is what's interesting is their official language is English. So a lot of them speak English, and it's really cool that way. Okay. Their main religion is Roman Catholic, which is part of Christianity. Okay, let's have everybody move to breakout room number two. Okay, so click up there. We'll go to breakout room number two. Hey, for those of you in the main room, we're moving to breakout room two. So it's by your name where it says you're in main room right now. You want to click down and go to breakout room two. Okay. All right, thanks for following me to breakout room two. Let's compare a little bit of what Panama is like, okay? So some things about Panama. They said it's very a mountainous country, which is very true. You have what's called you have fault lines that run through there, and it really makes big, huge mountains out of those areas, okay? And we'll talk about this as we're talking about the Ring of Fire coming up pretty soon. The population's pretty big compared to Belize. Belize is a lot smaller, but this has about almost 4 million people that populate Central America. The official language is Spanish instead of English. Some say they speak English too. That's correct. Uh, so somebody said they had few natural disasters. They have some because they're on there and they have hurricanes that come through as well, but not as often. And then Roman Catholic and also Protestant, which is another part of Christianity. Okay. All right, let's move to room number three now. Okay, those that are in the main room, we're moving to room number three. All right, let's talk now about Honduras. Okay, so a couple things about Honduras that you put down. It's a tropical area. Yep, it's very beautiful down there. 9.1 million, so it's bigger than both Belize and Panama. The language they speak there is Spanish. They do have a little bit English as well, and Christianity is the main religion. So, okay, very good. I'm going to move everybody to the main room now. All right, give me a smiley face if you can hear me. Everybody should be back in the main room now. Let's see if anybody's stuck. Nobody's stuck in the other rooms. Good. All right, thanks for the smiley faces. You should be able to see my face on video too. I'm not smiling though. Just kidding. All right, so let's move on with the lesson here. So I have a question for you. So this goes over what we just talked about. What is the predominant language of Central America? Okay, and you can go in your little poll. You should have A, B, C, or D now, I believe. Oh, nope, you don't. Let me change it back. Hold on. Polling. Oh, it says you should have that. Okay, so A, B, C, or D. Or you guys can just write on the board like they did there. Somebody did there. Why is it still showing my green check mark? Okay. Yep, write which one you think it is on there. Good. I like the green checks. So whoever said German, come on. We didn't even talk about German. Very good. You guys are liking that way too much. It's it's Spanish, guys. Spanish, okay? Look right here. So Spanish is the correct one. Okay? All right, let's try this question real quick. You can use your tools again. Which country is Spanish not the official language? Is it A, Belize, B, Panama, C, Honduras, or D, Nicaragua? Good old Belize. So if you want to go somewhere where you're not speaking English, it's going to be Belize, or going to speak English, it's Belize, okay? Very good. Okay, let's keep rolling through here. You guys have done pretty good so far. You might want to remember these because of the exit ticket. Okay, so as we talked about, Central America is from the tip of Mexico all the way down to Colombia. You have all these little countries in between here. Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. Okay, primary language is Spanish, as we talked about. But then you also have, I like this picture right here. Who likes Pirates of the Caribbean? Give me a green check if you like Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, it's pretty. Somebody doesn't like it. That's okay. You don't like Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay. The Caribbean is where this is all based in. Okay. The Caribbean is 40 islands that make up the Caribbean. Beautiful, beautiful area. Okay. It was taken over by the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, France. They kind of inhabited that area. Um, the Spaniards as well. Uh, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, just to name a few of those islands there, of the bigger islands. Um, yeah, I think the movie's pretty fun. I like the Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll always go see a new one that comes out. So, but it's a beautiful place to go. This is where I love going vacationing. Um, Eastern, Western Caribbean, been there many, many times. Very beautiful water, fun snorkeling, scuba diving, if you're into that thing, water sports. So look at that. And this is a map of kind of where it's at here. Kind of see all these little islands. And then you have these little islands over here that I didn't even circle that would be considered part of Central American too, like St. Lucia, St. Marsh, that kind of stuff. You also, and this is kind of what it's like, a lot of tropical area. You can see beautiful ocean to go to. All right, let's talk about another poll question here. Okay, I'm going to give you your permissions to write on the whiteboard again. What Native American group inhabited Central America? Was it A, the Utes, B, the Navajo, C, Fremont, or D, Mayan? All right, very good there. Okay, you got that correct. It is the Mayan population that inhabited most of Central America. And we'll be talking a lot about Central America and the inhabitants of there, the ancient inhabitants of there too. Okay, so these are some of the things that come from the ancient inhabitants of the Mayans. The Mayans had their famous calendars. You can kind of see right here. This is the picture to your left of the Mayan calendar. And they also had amazing temples that they or pyramids that they built there. I went to this place. I believe this was called Itza. It's one of the biggest pyramids that's over in that area. They have quite a few of the pyramids, but they talked about how they had actually ancient sacrifices there, human sacrifices, and on the equinox, and or actually it'd be solstice. No, it's equinox. I'm sorry. Uh, like there's like the shadow comes down and they would put the head of the person they sacrificed down there and it looks like a snake kind of eats it and brings it back, so like it's their soul going into to heaven. It's kind of interesting. So somebody asked if I could went inside. The answer is no, they don't let you go inside the pyramid, but I would have loved to try to go inside. Apparently there's a pyramid inside of this pyramid, which is kind of interesting. So I would very highly suggest. I want to go back there and actually do a lot more because I didn't get a whole bunch of time to spend there, and then also go to some of the other ones. You'd sneak inside. Yeah, they have it pretty well guarded. I I'm not sure I would do that. You don't want to get put in a Mexican or because actually this one's in Mexico. This one is. You don't want to be put in a Mexican prison. All right. Some other things is as we're talking about Central America, one of the things you need to talk about that's big is poverty, okay, and economic development. So economic basically means how much money a country has. So if you can see compared to even Mexico, so this is the United States up here, you have Mexico down here, and you have your scale. These are people that are in poverty, okay? And as you can see, a lot of Central America is in that 50 to 60% of the population is in poverty, which means they don't even make enough money to feed themselves, okay? So it's really kind of um, sad at this point. And a lot has to do with their government not having sustainable jobs, all those kind of things. So we're going to be focusing a little bit more as we're looking at Central America on poverty and what's going on in that aspect of things. So what happens when you don't have any money, okay, and you're just trying to survive? Well, some things happen is the immigration that we talked about before of people coming into North America, and you're just trying to go survival mode. One of the things that a theorist came up with, this pyramid right here is called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, um, at the very bottom is the base, and you need these essential needs in order to survive, like oxygen, okay, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. If you don't have these things and you're deprived of these things, so for example, who before has dove down deep in the water and you're just fighting to get back up to the surface because you can't breathe? Who's done that before? I know I have. It's kind of scary. Yep. And you're fighting. You'll do anything you can to survive, right? Yep, it is scary, right? Because you think you're going to drown and you're just flying up there. So, same with food. If you're starving to death, you're going to do whatever it is, whether that's steal, lie, cheat, um, even uh, kill someone else because you need these things, okay? And that's a lot of the reason why there's these countries are so unstable and have these wars going on is because people don't have these physical things. Then the next one's safety, employment, property, stability, that same thing, okay? So if you kind of think of it that way, you can kind of get a uh, kind of vision of why Central America is like it is, okay? And then as you kind of work your way up, love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization is what Maslow says is the top one. And that just basically means you have all your needs met and you are at harmony with yourself, okay? So it's kind of a good model to think of when you're thinking of Central America and what it has. Okay, that leads us to the very end, to our exit ticket. Okay, I'm going to grab your exit ticket real quick and I'm going to throw it in the chat. I'm going to open up the slides here. But basically, it's what we talked about today in our poll questions. Okay, so hopefully you remember those. And yeah, class is over. 40 minutes in the books. Okay. So I'll stay after for any questions. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then I'm going to get that exit ticket and put it in the chat and push it out to you. So give me 1 second.